These are all bloodsucker, you know.
Australian vampire bat. They're a fruit bat.
They are huge.
They're massive, and they obviously do what they say they do. They eat fruit. These are like their haunts. They come back to this every day, every evening, every morning, I suppose. They're kind of responsible for a lot of things. They eat a lot of the nectar, and they're repollinating a lot of the native plants they've found. And so as they're being wiped out and their habitat's being reduced, they're finding a lot of the native forests are actually dying back.
So cool.
You got some B-roll of me in here?
I'm doing A-roll right now.
I can't hear you.
Yeah, me neither.
Yes! Got it! I'm Greg Wittstock, the Pond Guy. This is my channel, Greg Wittstock, the Pond Guy. I saw this water feature. I instantly decided to put on my bathing suit because I'm going swimming, because this is a recreation pond that Patrick Hanley, Waterscapes Australia, even gave me a shirt put together with his mate Mark, right? Pond Works. And we are going to go swimming and check out an Australian recreation pond. Let's check it out.
Unbelievable. So you come up this long driveway, and the first thing I see is kind of the first thing you guys see is this bridge over here, and the bridge really just invites you up to experience this whole thing. And then that waterfall right by the bridge is fantastic. I feel like a fire pit is epic too.
Yeah,
that's a really cool fire pit.
Look, it's all social stuff, and it's outdoor in Australia, so especially Queensland where the weather's pretty good all year. So you just come out here and hang out, jump in the pond at night time.
Some of the local wildlife is our...
Crikey, what's that?
It's a hot American who's just cooling down.
You can see by the topography, the whole thing was on quite a steep slope. There was, you know, this was kind of a slight flat area, but it was still looking at 5 degrees or something like that. So we had to take into account that and how we make it sit on this slope so it still looks natural. That was a bit of a challenge, but we did it.
And so this waterfall that the wildlife is bathing in
Humans think they own everything. Probably American.
is fed by what? Is that the wetland filter?
That's the wetland filter up there. So that's about 12 cubic metres we've got up there of material in there. Well planted. Again, set into that higher area, so it looks like it's coming out of it. You can see that, looks like it's coming out of a higher, wider area. It's not just stuck to the side of it. This was a bit of a change in the design, and I'll thank Mitch for this one. It had this rock, sandstone slabs they are, natural cut. And oftentimes we put in a formal edge inside these systems. You might have a formal edge, which you might put a deck over. In this case, it was like, hey, how about we create a bit of a spa space? We've got somewhere to sit down there. We've got a waterfall coming in and do exactly what Greg's doing there. It's a nice height, isn't it? It doesn't look too out of place for what it is, and the rock's big enough to make it look natural.
I just love the curved bridge, you know, and you've got such a custom feature here, and the bridge, you know, keeps with the custom feel of everything. To pull off that curve is not easy.
No, it's not. It took a bit of time. And the idea here is that, this is a little bit sort of organised and contrived in a way, but it's forced to go and sit into, and we move on to the natural side of it.
It does. The curve of the bridge, and then the curve of more of the formal seat wall here definitely gives it this spa type feel in this area. I love it.
Go from about 1.5 or 4 or 5 feet, I suppose, down to about 6, over 6 feet there, Greg.
Yep, I'm 5'11", so.
So wetland up in here, red stem thalia.
Yep.
Our favourite. I love this stuff.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, and we use Gympie granite for this.
Gympie granite. Why do they call it Gympie?
Gympie's the place.
Oh, all right. I really love it, and this is definitely one of my favorite areas, and this is really kind of your style. I can almost say here this is a Patrick Hanley pond because you love bringing rock out past the edge, sticking up out of the water here and there.
Yeah, look, I think it's really important. You can imagine this if it was just one big body of water, you get that effect where it's just one big body of water, and I find that you need more interest in it. And the bodies of water I hang around generally have rocks going out in them, so I've got that eye for it. But if you didn't have it then, I think you call them destination rocks.
Yeah.
I mean, destination for your eye, or destination for you, or for whatever it may be. It breaks up the body of water and creates a lot more interest.
The way you've placed this rock with the really, you know, it's a rounder rock, but you found the flat top to go up to invite people to come jump out to it.
This is a launching spot.
Yeah, the edge work is just fantastic. We were talking about some of these destination boulders, and explain this one to me, this this flat one that kind of cantilevers out over the water.
It invites you to jump in, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, I suppose this is the thing, when you go into nature, you find rocks in all sorts of different ways, and you don't really think of them as being placed, but they are placed, and maybe you would find that, or maybe you don't, but I know I've seen that out somewhere next to something where you can jump off it, and it becomes the obvious place to jump off. You know?
Well, yeah, and so much so because you've done a really good job. Like, you've got a lot of big boulders, which instantly gives it that natural look, but the big boulders only look big if you have small boulders sitting next to them. And so when you take these, you know, kind of this sedge area right here mixed with some smaller rocks and then bring that one, your eyes really focus to it. So of course you want to go up to it and launch off. And this is our intake bay.
Yeah, so this is where everything ends up. So we have our pumps down in there, and we have our matrix under there, obviously, and everything is getting drawn into that. Go down the tunnel, go down the tunnel. Oh yeah, let's go back to the tunnel. Do the tunnle again, Greg.
You actually have a underwater tunnel.
There is. We put a big concrete pipe through the bottom there.
And what's the diameter of that?
It's only 600. What?
Probably like this.
Couple feet?
Yeah, a couple.
I mean, no problem for a little skinny guy like me.
Oh yeah. Are you walking on top of it now?
I'm walking on top of it as soon as you get to the edge, which is like right here.
One point with this one is it actually is topped up on the river, so that's a little bit of a nutrient load in it.
So they're using the river water to supplement some of the evaporation, something like that. Ah!
Hey, Greg.
What?
You should have bit its head off.
The wives' tale that says that when you build a pond, snakes will come. I've had a recreation pond since 1999 in my backyard. I have seen one gardener snake one time. There's a huge perception about ponds and snakes. Literally, it's not a problem. And actually, this snake is here just for decoration and probably to keep some of the birds away.
Jetting in here just to keep the water moving through these shallow areas, the lily areas. They're really important if you're building a body of water of some size to have some movement through it, especially in Australia, especially in North Queensland or Queensland in general. If you don't do it, you get hot spots, and there's not much you can do about algae if you get hot spots. That just grows there. That's what it does. Algae not being a bad thing, too much of it being unsightly to us. If you're going to build a pond, no matter what size, it's small or big, you want to put some of the rock that you use in your pond or stream out into your landscape.
Absolutely. This is definitely one of my favorites. Is this another, would you call this another jumping spot?
It's jumping, and also it is sort of like just to wander out and sit on it. Now the ducks have been having a great time here.
Yeah, go ahead, sit down.
Yeah, definitely a jumping rock. So, yeah.
I love this. Whether you're going to use them to jump off of or a destination, like it just, again, it draws your eye away from the edges. You know, it pulls your eye into different things, and it gives the pond so much more interest that rather than it being just a big body of water. I just love it. How old is this pond?
About 2 years.
2 years. What's really hard for people to visualize is like, so this edge obviously when you were finished looked completely different, maybe a little cold because of all the rock and stuff, but it was the way you designed it, you intended this plant to grow here. And I love it when the terrestrial plants or the water plants, it kind of intermix, right? This one does a little bit of both. It's growing in the water and it creeps up onto the land, or it was on the land and creeped into the water.
And oftentimes when you build a pond, you might make it rockier than normal, or you might have it so it doesn't look quite natural when you finish, but take into account that you're going to put plantings in it and it all softens it. If you didn't do it as rocky, you'd lose all the rock once the plants come around it. Just as the plants grow and it becomes more supple.
And so then your big rocks just kind of peek up amongst the plants, and the small rocks almost disappear.
The fire pit is a social area, and so we made a few areas away from it so you can walk to destinations and sit down and and be away from the crowd, I suppose.
It's built for entertaining, but if you wanted to kind of relax and get away, you can do that too. When we say, like we say recreation, you guys say swim pond, this pond can be used for all kinds of different things, not just swimming, sit by it, relax. This pond was actually designed for one purpose.
So brief was pretty much do what you do. They've been following us for a while. We want a fishing lake or a fishing pond, ones with native fish in it, something that's beautiful. We said, look, we can make it a bit of both. We can make it as a recreation. You can swim it when you want to. Why not swim with your fish? I love doing it. And you can have your fish. And they want it natural. That's what they're after. They're right into bringing back nature back into your living area.
And who wouldn't love, whether you're a veteran fisherman, you've been fishing your whole life, or you're new, bringing young kids here to fish in a pond like this. Maybe even practice some of your fly fishing techniques, roll casts and etc. Like, yeah. What an incredible place.
You take the barbs off?
Yep, of course. Yep, I absolutely love it. It's my favorite I've seen so far.
It's such a natural place for a conversation. How many times have you sat in a pool in a resort and talked to people in their lawn chairs along the edges? It's even better in a recreation pond. There's so much opportunity. The world totally needs to understand what these things are. This is the kind of stuff that helps the environment, doesn't hurt the environment like a swimming pool. And you talk about resale value, this is a 2-year-old recreation pond. Every year we're gonna come back here, it's gonna look that much more natural, filled in, and beautiful. So if you like this stuff, hit the like button so more people can see this. Share this video so that we can actually change the way people are thinking about using their landscapes. And if you really enjoy it, check out the Team Aquascape link below so you can see how we build decorative water features and recreation ponds all over the world, even down under. I love my job.